straight out of New York. It's the Beautiful Twin Sisters podcast.
All my
Beautiful twin sisters.
sisters. Beautiful twin sisters. Beautiful twin sisters.
Yes, okay, pulled out my news anchor voice for today. Here we are in New York City, none other than Cheers.
We got our NAMI here today, and congratulations to Ashley for going international with it. Let's go.
Oh my God, thank you.
Cheers once again.
Yes, my matcha is now available internationally. Yeah, just wanted to, I'm not going to bore you guys with it, but NAMI was out of stock for actually quite a while, but now it is back in stock and available for purchase pretty much no matter where you are in the world. And we also have subscriptions now. So little shout out there. Anyways, what we are talking about today is not matcha. It is in fact the city of New York. Period. Oh, you made the matcha today. So actually,
Cheers once again.
it's always crazy when Amber makes me a matcha because I'm like, do you even know how to do that?
I know, and now I make it delicious. Maple syrup and oat milk. That's the way.
Thank you, Amber. In case you didn't know, or in case you couldn't tell from our beautiful background, if you're watching our YouTube video, Amber and I live here in New York City, and we are originally from upstate New York. We're not actually... Are we New Yorkers?
It depends what
depends.
the definition is. If anyone from New York City asked me if we're New Yorkers, I'd say no. But anyone from out of state,
Yeah.
I would say yes, we are.
That's kind of how it goes.
Right?
But yeah, like we are New Yorkers in the sense that I was born and raised in New York State, but not in New York City, which is different.
That really is a
So
different ball game.
It is a different ball game, and we're here to just talk about it today. Like, what is it like to live in New York? What should you know if you are considering moving here? Like, what brought us to this crazy city that I said I would never, ever, ever live in, and now I live
know,
in.
right?
So,
And is it worth it to move here? We're going to get into it today. The pros and cons of living in New York.
okay, let me give like a brief synopsis of both of us living here. I've lived here for 3 years. I've lived in many different areas of Lower Manhattan, and Amber just moved here recently. Oh,
A year
did I
ago.
just dox myself when I said Lower Manhattan? That's
No,
actually
that
a
is, like,
huge
the
area.
broadest
Anyways. But Amber also has been living here for a full year. Congratulations,
Yeah,
girl. Give me a
bro.
high five. It's been 1 year since.
Exactly 1 year,
Yeah,
pretty
literally,
much.
probably to the day.
Yeah, we moved here
Yeah.
on September 15th last year. So
Okay. That's crazy.
I don't know what day this is coming out,
It's
but
a-
it's around a year.
Yeah.
And we just renewed our lease, so we're staying here again.
yeah.
Let's go. Yeah, so Ashley's been here 3 years. I've been here 1 year. And what's funny is as kids, we always said, we will never move to New York. But look at us now.
Look
and
at us.
why did you personally have those thoughts? Because I know my reasons.
I mean,
but-
I think it's because our parents or just like people around us always said like, do not move to New York City. Or you know what I
It's
mean?
too dangerous.
It's too dangerous. It's dirty. Yada, yada, yada. But at the same time, though, mom actually has always told me, like, oh, I wish I lived in New York in my 20s. Like, that was always mom's dream.
Yeah.
So I did hear her say that. But at the same time, I would still hear our, like, maybe our dad more so, or like our parents just be like, no, like, New York is too dangerous or it's too busy. And also when we would visit, we would always only visit Times Square and K-Town, which are two incredibly busy areas. And that kind of did it in for me. I am not going to lie.
Yeah, I feel like as kids, we've kind of talked about this, but as kids, we really just visited the most bustling, unlivable areas of New York. I feel like
Yeah.
Times Square, if you've never been, is literally hell on earth. So that was the only...
Okay, but it's kind of fire, though. Like, when you're in Times Square and you're like, holy, I'm
like-
in Times Square.
for like 5 minutes,
For like 5
maybe.
minutes. But, like, if you stay in a hotel, like, in Times Square, or if you were to, God forbid, live in Times Square.
Does anybody live in Times Square? No,
Well,
right?
I'm sure. Like, yes, like there has to be.
Live.
But also, like Hell's Kitchen is an area that's near Times Square that is widely hated. I feel like among New Yorkers, like living in New York, they have really gorgeous and beautiful apartments there at like lower prices compared to other areas. However, like any of my friends that have lived in Hell's Kitchen are like never ever live in Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah.
But isn't that where Timothy Chalamet's from?
It's where Timothy Chalamet's from and Sylvester Stallone. A lot
Hell's
of famous
Kitchen?
Yeah.
Random.
And our parents just watched a whole documentary about Sylvester Stallone, and he's talking about Hell's Kitchen. He was like, when I grew up there, it really was Hell's Kitchen. And I'm like, that's crazy. That sounds almost horrifying. But I mean, people live there. I think some people will actually love it. Like Timothy Chalamet talks about it as if it's like heaven. And I'm like, whoa, okay. So maybe he just knows a different version that we've never seen. But
I'm sure it is fire, like
yeah,
in its own way.
there
But-
must be some good stuff there. We just don't know it yet. Who the fuck is calling me? I hate this.
Oh my God, it's Obama.
It's Andrew.
Oh.
I'm going to make him answer on the podcast. Andrew, you're on the podcast.
Oh, hello.
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 Hi, Andrew.
What's up, bro?
Not much. Where are you filming for the podcast?
We're talking about living in New York City.
I actually have a question. I have a question for you, Andrew.
Yeah.
Because you lived with us for the summer, and then your ultimate decision was, I'm not moving to New York City ever. And what made you make that decision?
Well, I don't enjoy never like being able to relax.
Oh, the hustle culture.
And I always feel like I'm stuck inside a building. And if I go
Yeah.
outside, there's like only more buildings.
There's no nature, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel.
And I like driving a car and having my own like transportation. I mean, I could have a bike, but it would get stolen. So it's very limited to what I can, take her as transportation.
Yeah.
It's only like public.
Because
And
you really
it kinda
value
got
your...
tiring and old very quickly.
Sorry, I totally interrupted him.
And I live in a state of fear.
Oh, that is kind of the New York experience, is literally living in fear. Well, that's funny that you say the transportation is limited here, because there's actually like 5 different huge forms of public transportation you can take. But I guess
I know what he means, though.
no, driving a car is very nice and peaceful sometimes.
You know what's the main...
Emphasis on public transportation.
Yeah, you want that private transportation. We get it,
Okay,
bro. You
okay.
love to drive.
He needs that drive-through. Like, that's what he's missing here, is the drive-through, the Californian
Yeah,
way.
I gotta stay in my car. I like throwing stuff in my car.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's what it was. I was always carrying something, and I didn't want to carry it anymore.
Oh, yeah, he literally was like, I need to, like... Didn't you say you needed to keep your chapstick in the car or something like that?
Yeah, and I don't want to carry chapstick in my pocket everywhere.
So you like to have your car kind of as an extra storage space?
Yeah.
Or you know what it is? A car is like a third space. Have you heard people talk about that? Where it's
Yeah.
like you need a third space that isn't your home or work.
Yeah.
But in New York,
Yeah.
there are a lot of third spaces, like cafes and libraries and stuff like that. But Andrew just loves
not
the
as
car.
private, though. Not
Yeah,
as
he-
private as a car.
I hate doing work at cafes.
Honestly,
Okay.
yeah,
I could see it.
it's a little stressful. You can't actually like relax while you're doing that.
Yeah.
No,
go
and
pee.
if I were to go on a run, it wasn't like the air quality is probably not the best in California either, but
Yeah, I'm like, isn't the air quality
there's
pretty
a
bad
huge
there right
forest
now?
fire near me.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Andrew's college house is on like the border of one of like the biggest forest fires happening right now. Or not maybe the biggest, but like
No.
a pretty decent
That's
sized one.
scary, Andrew.
one.
I'm sure it's like
What?
monitored though or something, but
Yeah,
that's
the one
scary.
near me, it got put out.
Okay, good.
Thank gosh.
That's scary
But I
though.
could see it over the hill, like it started cresting the hill. I was like, oh,
Whoa,
Ooh.
that's weird.
yeah. I was like, this can't be good.
Wow. Wait. Also, do you have any favorite parts of New York? Like, are there any redeeming qualities?
No.
Oh yeah, my favorite part was being able to walk anywhere, and you'll always be able to find something to do.
So true, bro.
I feel like you can always get sidetracked very easily, but in California, you kind of have to have a plan.
Yeah, like you never just leave your
Especially
house
with traffic.
and the traffic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like New York, you can walk out of your apartment and the world is your oyster and you can do things that like you didn't really set out to do that day, which is pretty exciting. But when you have to like drive places like in California or other like suburban areas, you have to like go out with a plan. Like you're not just going to drive out for no reason.
Yeah, like I have to drive 20 minutes to school, 20 minutes to the gym, 20 minutes to physical therapy.
Yikes, bro.
Basically 20 minutes everywhere.
Are you driving right now also?
Yeah, I'm coming back from physical therapy.
Wow. How is your knee recovery going?
I almost said
They
that
said
same
I'm
sentence.
almost back.
You're almost back to like full knee capacity,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Knee functioning capacity. Let's go. Huge W. Well, sorry that I immediately ambushed you with the podcast.
Oh, no, it's okay.
Did you have anything you actually wanted to say, or are you just calling because you're bored?
I'm about to sit in, like, hella traffic, so.
We can leave you on
27
the
minutes
call
up.
if you want to listen to the podcast. We can just leave you on the call.
And you could just listen to us record it.
Yeah.
That's okay.
I'll just put him here.
He's like,
I'm just
actually, I really don't want that.
Andrew, I just asking him the other day, I was like, do you watch our podcast? And he was like, yeah, all the time, because I'm always in traffic. I always have to like listen
I
to the
thought that
podcast.
was Pono said that.
No, that was Andrew saying that.
Oh, I literally was like, Pono sounds different today.
No, that was Andrew on the phone,
Okay,
not
that's
Pono.
crazy.
Well, I think we're going to get back to recording this, Andrew, but I'll call you later if you still want to hang out on the phone.
Bye, Andrew.
Bye, bro.
Bye-bye.
I love you, bro.
guys.
Bye.
I love you. Bye.
Bye.
What a silly goose.
What a silly goose.
He's an opinionated man also.
Yeah,
It's
I
funny.
also feel like he'll be like, I am never gonna move there, and then he would like literally move here. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah, you know, he can always change his mind.
Yeah,
We
exactly.
changed our minds.
yeah, exactly.
Period. When you moved here,
Yes.
what was a perk of living in New York that you didn't expect, like that you didn't know going into it?
Oh,
An unexpected positive.
you're a great question asker. Okay, well, when I actually first moved to New York, I feel like in a certain way it wasn't. This sounds weird. I'm like saying like it wasn't even like my decision, or like I never really like considered it as being like I want to move to New York. It was kind of like my friends are moving to New York and they're like, let's just all do this. And so regardless of my thoughts of what New York was, I was like, I want to hang out with my friends. Like I'm gonna
Yeah.
move to New York. The perk that I realized once I got there, and I feel like I actually learned this more even after I moved in, was I understood finally, wow, New York is so much more than Times Square. And I learned all these new areas of New York. And there's just like such beautiful, like mom and pop kind of area. Like I just
Yeah.
love like Little Italy. I know I'm like
I
mom and pop,
know.
I'm like Little Italy, but like Little Italy and like Chinatown and all of these like super fun and more cultural areas even, or there's like the West Village. Maybe that's not as cultural, but it's just like very cute in the West Village, and just got to explore all of the different areas of New York. And I feel like that was kind of an unexpected perk, was that there are areas that are pretty calm. Like
Yeah.
even we've lived in areas where like there's not as much foot traffic and it has been pretty quiet. Some places we lived, it's been loud places that we've lived. So yeah, it's very different. And each area really has its own character, which I think is so cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of variety. I feel like you can find the whole world in like the little like radius of New York City, and literally every possible food and cuisine and culture, all types of people. So that is really exciting.
Yes. And I also never realized how amazing public transportation could really be, because we never grew up with
Girl.
any type of public transit. Actually, like the school bus.
The school bus is fire.
Yes. And I feel like I actually meet a lot of people nowadays that are like, no, we never, like our school district didn't even have school buses. And I'm like,
And
is
then I'm
that
confused.
even legal? I'm confused as well.
I feel like a school has got to provide a school bus.
Or like I also have friends in like the Bay Area, for example, that are like, oh no, you just take the public transportation bus instead of a school bus. And I'm like, whoa, like that's also really intense. So I'm sure there's like some different options depending, but growing up, we only really had our school bus. And there was actually like CDTA buses, like MTA buses, whatever.
oh yeah. But we didn't like
But we never
use
took
them.
those really, because they are very sparse in our
Yeah,
area.
it's like you will not-
very sparse. And I do remember one time though, I did see one of the buses flipped over in the main intersection of our town.
Really?
Yes. Like,
did that
at the
happen?
the intersection
Yeah,
where
yeah,
they
yeah.
do the Christmas lighting, it
Yeah.
was like boom, and we drove past it, we're like, OMG.
No.
But
And
yeah,
then you're like,
we're
well, I'm never taking that.
never taking that.
I do
ever.
not
That-
wanna end up like that.
literally rolled over upside down. That's crazy.
That is weird.
But yeah, like the subway is so goated. And yes, I do feel a little scared, of course, as a girl going on the subway. Got to carry your pepper spray and just be like really vigilant. That's kind of the key. And not going at night alone and just like being aware, which is like, of course, that is a con in a way, is that you do have to be vigilant and aware. But I feel like that's kind of no matter where you go on the earth, you kind of have to be like that. Of
A
course,
bit more
there's
here.
but a little bit more here than other areas
Yeah.
sometimes. And yeah, but still the subway is pretty goated. You can get anywhere so quickly and easily for $2.75.
90 cents, bro.
90 cents. Again, they raised it.
Yeah.
I feel like, okay, I don't know
I know,
anymore.
right?
I
What the
don't
hell
know
is this?
anymore.
I will say one perk that I did not anticipate when moving here was that because, like, if you have friends in New York, it's almost giving that, like, oh, this sounds stupid as fuck. You know
No,
when you,
it's
like, go to
fine.
college and you all live on the same campus or,
Like
like, in the same
roommate
town
vibes?
and you can, like, see each other so easily and kind of, like, walk to each other's houses? New York City can have that vibe. If you have friends here, it's, like, living in a walkable community with your friends is a beautiful thing. And I feel like once you graduate college, you
Yes.
kind of lose that. And so this is one of the rare places in the US at least where you can like walk to your friend's house pretty easily. And also like hanging out with friends here is so fun because you get to try different restaurants and like literally see the world and explore and travel. It's like, cause I don't know, it's just, it didn't, let me
No,
think
I know
about-
what you're going for, girl.
right? It's like a
I
very
agree with
beautiful
that.
communal thing.
Yeah, just like the vibes of being able to walk to your friend's house is pretty crazy. And also, Manhattan actually, as an island, which is an island, I guess.
Yes.
It's actually like, I mean, it's kind of like huge in a certain way, but it's also is small where you can like run a lap around it if you're kind of freaking crazy. Like, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, everything is like walkable. Like, maybe it takes me an hour to walk there, but it is walkable. And there are like paths to walk there and everything, you know? So it's just cool that everything is very accessible. And even if you do have friends on the Upper West Side and you are in Fidei, they can still take that subway and meet you regardless. So
Even if they're in Queens.
even if they're
Even
in,
if they're in the freaking Bronx, bro. You
Yeah.
can always find a
you
way.
can always find a way.
You know what's funny is our grandma is from Brooklyn.
Is she from Flatbush?
She's from Flatbush, our dad's mom. And then our grandpa is just from like upstate New York. So
Well, he's
we-
from Croton on Hudson, which is also pretty close to New York City.
a little bit. Yeah. We got that New York in our blood.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I will say, since I've been here a year, New York, over the course of the year, has gotten a lot scarier because I think just being
Really?
here, I think being here for a longer period of time, you kind of have to just like survive more scary incidents.
Oh.
And then like once you're like a year or so into it, you're like, damn, this is actually kind of weird. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
You also just attract the crazies, girl.
Bro, I don't know why. I don't know why. I got some weird stuff going on in my life. Every
Yeah.
time I leave the house, I'm like, all right, here it is again.
Yeah.
Time for me to get fucking yelled at or something by some crazy people. I don't know how much the like craziness of New York affects your mental health because I will say for me, there is a level of fear and like specifically
that's constant.
yeah, it's like I have never had to live in a location that provides me so much fear.
Okay, the crazy thing is, hear me out though. When we live in the suburbs, I feel way more scared to be alone in my house though.
Really?
Yes. I don't know why. Like, it's just like more, there's more land. I feel like you feel like you could be more targeted kind of in your own house. Whereas in an apartment building, I just feel like it's way more difficult
For someone to
for
like
someone to
chase you in.
freaking attack me, bro. But so I just feel like if I'm going to bed, I feel way safer in the apartment than in even our freaking house.
Our childhood
Our
home.
childhood home. I'm scared shitless, bro. Trust me.
That is really odd to me. I've never had that thought.
Oh, dead ass. I'm
Like-
literally always like, oh my God.
I feel so much better at home than here.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I think if I was home alone in our family house, I might be scared because it's just like
If
bigger
I was
and
home alone in our family house, I would be so much more scared, like 100 times more scared than if I was here in the apartment alone.
Okay, because you'd rather be like kind of around people than stranded
Yes.
with the
Yes.
possibility of having to face a intruder one-on-one.
Yeah, or I just feel like if there's like a home invasion, it's always in that suburban house, bro.
But have you heard anything on the news about New York City?
I actually just do not watch the news. I'm just joking, but I try not to like watch too much negative news. Yeah,
That's true. Well, there is a lot of stuff where girls get followed into their apartments in New York.
I know, and I am very incredibly aware of that. Trust me.
Thank God we got a doorman.
Yeah.
You cannot mess with us. Shout
And our
out
doorman,
Moses. Shout out Ali.
They will side tackle you if you try to get into our building. So
You already know that.
But
what is interesting, because you were saying you don't want to watch the news about crazy stuff that happens in New York.
Yeah, but I do watch it, and then I'm just like,
well, because here's what I think. Honestly, what is the point of even hearing about those horrible things happening? Because it just makes you feel bad, right?
True,
It's not like,
but it can make you more aware so that you can avoid things happening to you.
you know what I do appreciate? Okay, because I think on like my social media algorithms, I keep getting fed like fear propaganda of like, oh my God, this girl just got like killed. Oh my God, this thing just
In New York?
Yes.
Or like all over the place?
No, New York City. I think I have like
Specifically?
I have like a New York City algorithm, and
my
all I
gosh.
get is like fear.
Girl, what are you engaging with on there? I
mean,
feel like
I
there's
watch it
actually
'cause it's
not even
scary.
like that much going. Like, I know there's a little bit of crazy stuff with the Brooklyn Mirage right now. I also know, but I feel like you're probably also getting some old stuff, but it's just like all is like constantly like recycling.
Well, it's obviously because I engage with it, so it keeps on popping up on my feed. But also, there is a lot of that type of content out there because there is so much stuff going on. But what I will say is, sometimes ignorance is bliss. Sometimes I wish I didn't see that TikTok. I would feel a lot better right now.
Yeah.
The only time where I think it is helpful to consume that, I should have said eat
that content.
eat that content is when it tells you like the location of something weird that happened, or they like show the face of a man that's like harassing women.
Remember when all the girls were getting punched in the face?
Yes.
That was crazy.
Yeah. That was like this spring, some guy in Lower Manhattan
And then
was
I think
just
other
targeting
guys
girls.
started doing it too.
Yeah, everybody just went on a freaking punching spree.
That's like actually just wild. And then I was like,
okay, you know what?
It's always something weird, but
So it is really helpful when I see those like videos of, watch out for this man, he's in this specific area, I was on this street and this happened. So that's the only time. Sometimes I do wish though, like,
you just had a happier feed.
yeah, it's like I don't really want to see that.
You know what you need instead of that is you need the goldfish aquarium that was in Brooklyn in the fire
Bed-Stuy?
hydrant. Yeah,
Yeah.
the Bed-Stuy aquarium.
That is beautiful. I
or
don't know
the fishbowl.
if you guys haven't seen this, because maybe this is just very specific to our TikTok feed because we are
Yeah.
around here. But in Bed-Stuy, they made a little aquarium under this fire hydrant, and
It's just a leaky fire hydrant that like kept a pool of water, and somehow they had goldfish literally
living in it. Someone put
and-
goldfish in it.
Yeah, someone put goldfish in it, and then they would like, the community would like, someone would sit there in like a lawn chair and like patrol it and like make sure that it's good at all hours of the day. And it was really cute and like a cute community moment, but also I think it is a little questionable for the goldfish. And I think also they're
alive,
fire
so-
department, like I think the fire department shut off the hydrant though eventually.
Dang.
But
it was really cute. Like,
it was cute though.
the kids
for
loved
sure.
it.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's fun when those things happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are very many beautiful things. Like, especially experiencing the different seasons here is quite beautiful because,
Yes,
of course,
gorge.
New York gets all 4 seasons. Very extreme, like, very extreme winters, very extreme summers. And in the winter last year, it was so cute because there would be like just people singing on the street, and there's like the little hot chocolate all around. So
Oh my
it's
gosh,
really
and the, like
sweet.
the markets and stuff, like
Yeah.
the Union Square does like holiday
winter market.
market, winter market, and like
So
a bunch of
cute.
other areas and like Bryant Park and whatever, and it's so cute.
Yeah. So experiencing those things is really, really nice. Because there's so many like different versions of New York. Like no matter whatever neighborhood you go to, it'll look different. Whatever season you're in, it's completely different as well. So there is just like a lot of diversity. And I literally saw a chart thing on like Twitter or something. This is where I get my freaking information. But it was like, they say like with the amount of life experiences that you have, it's almost like you live 80% of your life before you turn like 25, and then after that your like life plateaus because you don't have new experiences anymore.
Oh, interesting.
It's like the most like diverse experiences of your life all happen within your first 20 years usually.
Okay, well, I'm turning 25 soon, so goodbye
to
life. The rest of my life.
Literally. But I think when you live like here and like you're doing so many different things and seeing so many different things, I feel like the New Yorkers, that graph does not apply to them.
Yeah.
Because they really got that life. They really got that life diversity.
That life diversity.
But I mean, a lot of other cities in the world would be like that too. But
Yeah.
specifically, New York is quite beautiful.
I think it's just funny, like, just funny stuff happens here, and there's so many events and stuff just goes on.
Yeah,
and it's
like,
crazy.
there's a lot of elderly people here who are super independent and like healthy because they walk and because they have like purpose and like things to go do, and like you can have a very high level of independence as a elderly person here because you can just like walk to get your groceries, and like you don't have to drive and operate a vehicle in your
True.
old age. So that is really nice to see. Something that is crazy though is the kids that grow up here. Could
do you
you
mean?
ever? I just cannot imagine being a child and growing up in New York City. Like that is a really different experience from what we had.
And actually, what's crazy is that people grow. I don't know. It's just funny.
Well, I'm saying like being an adult here, like of course you can like handle your own business, but being a baby here is really scary.
Yeah. No, it's definitely is a different experience for sure. And I have friends that are like
grew up here,
and whenever I'm like, "Whoa, is that crazy?" and they're always like, "No," and I'm like, "Oh,"
right? Because I guess it's just normal for them. But I'm like,
but it just seems so different because I feel like, I mean, we have like football games, or it's just like so different, such a different vibe,
like culturally different.
Yeah, for like a suburban high school, and it's also the school system here is very different, but.
That's what I was going to say.
That.
Did you guys know to go to middle school and high school here, you have to apply and then get into like the school that you want, because they all are like, if you go to like a regular public school here, it is like the lowest tier option. So you kind of have to go to like private high schools if you want to like
Wait,
get
but
a better...
I thought even you had to like apply to the public. I thought you had to like apply to get into certain public high schools still.
Maybe I'm capping. I actually am not too familiar, but all I know is most people end up having to apply to high school, which is not a thing that happens in the freaking suburbs. You just get sent to whoever is the closest
closer,
one.
But no, like, because I like all my friends from New York City are like, oh, I went to a STEM high school specifically only for STEM, or I only went to a high school for the arts, and I'm like, how can you even like consciously make that decision when you're so young? First of all, but also you do have to apply, and I think we're kind of talking about it and we have no idea what we're talking about. I know, so like take this with a grain of salt. But the way like one of my New York City friends explained it to me, it was that they kind of had to do like SATs before you even take the SAT, and then those placements decide what schools you get into.
Oh my God.
And there's like certain like public high schools I think that are considered better than others that are actually like really competitive, and I think all of it is just super competitive, which is pretty wild for middle school or high school, because I could not even like deal with the pressure from doing college applications. Like doing that when you're so little would be crazy. So that is definitely different, and lack of a backyard potentially is very different to me too. I'm like, whoa. But
I mean, I feel like the school system is basically set up so that high school is like college. Like you kind of have to pick your focus and like go to the right high school to pursue what you want to do. So you have to know what you want to do a lot earlier than you would.
I don't think every high school's like that, but I think a lot.
But some,
Or like if you want to get into like the good ones or something, then I think a lot of them are specialty. But who knows?
I just don't get it.
Who knows? I don't know what we're talking about even.
Did any of you guys go to high school and middle school in New York City? What was that like for you guys?
Yeah.
Let us know, because we've heard a handful of experiences from our own friends. And I'm just like, bro, that sounds so scary. And that's why I think that's a big reason why I think I could never start a family here, is because I would have no clue how to help my kid figure that shit out.
Yeah, that would be interesting. But I do think it seems kind of cool to like be a kid. Like you get out of school in New York City and you can like just walk around and like do stuff with your friends like in the city.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy and independent.
Something I've heard though about that, a downside of that is that kids get introduced to things way too early because so much is accessible to them.
I see.
Right? Like they can get some bad influences pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Food for thought, guys.
Food for thought.
Do you think you could ever picture yourself settling down here in New York?
I don't know.
Because I know
no
Kelly
idea.
says
Oh
he
my
wants
God,
to.
Kelly wants to stay here forever. Or like when we think about like, oh, where would we want to move after New York? Can't think of a place. Like, you know what I mean?
You
It's
can't
like,
think of or he can't think of.
both of us can't really think of a place like where we would like really be happy living, like other than New York. But I think it's just different. Like if we were like to have kids, I think it's just as different. And I would love to have a house.
Yeah.
Like where I can like be in the kitchen and look out the window like at trees. Like that's just a goal for me, is to look out the window at trees or like have a
goals.
window above my sink specifically.
Wow.
But yeah.
That's so
Who
real.
knows?
Maybe you could live here. I personally probably will not.
Yeah, I mean, like, if we did, like, maybe I would, like, move outside of Manhattan. There's nice areas of Jersey, Brooklyn. Jersey, Brooklyn. I'm gonna move to Hoboken. Who knows?
I honestly really like upstate New York as well.
Oh my God, me too. I'm
But
like,
then
I
I
would
think-
live where we used to live, honestly.
Right?
But it would
But-
be kind of random, though.
I don't want to live in our hometown because then I feel like you bump into people that you know, or it's like, I just don't like that
Nice.
vibe.
Yeah.
Also, I kind of realize our hometown is not like too diverse. Kind of just got that like old white man vibe everywhere you go, and I'm like, nah,
I think it's more diverse now than when we were younger, though.
a little bit. Also, something about New York that kind of makes it hard to think of doing long term is that buying property here is like so much harder than anywhere
I
else.
mean, it's like impossible. And
So-
also renting here in the first place is really expensive. That's like a con that we should have covered like as soon as the podcast started. But I think the main thing that would keep anybody from living in
the
New York
price.
City is the price of the rent is just like outrageous. And I'm pretty sure New York City is the most expensive rent price like in the entire world. Yeah. Like I think New York City is the most expensive city to live in the world.
What the hell are we doing here, bro?
Unless I'm capping once again out my trap.
You know what's
But-
crazy is when I total up the amount of rent that we have to pay this year, I'm like, I would have so much more money if we were not paying this rent.
I know.
It's like so much money out the window. But it's also like, obviously we're paying for like the entire experience of like living in such a nice city and having so much available.
Yeah, and as creators, it is in a certain way an investment because we do New York City based content, or I do brand deals that are very specifically based in New York
Yeah.
City. So in a way, like it does earn us the money back, but it depends on your own
job.
personal like situation. Yeah,
Right,
whether
'cause
it would be
there's-
worth it or not.
For a lot of people, but definitely also for us, there's so many more work opportunities here.
Yeah.
So if you have a job where you could work it somewhere else and like get paid the same amount but have less expensive rent, it's like that is kind of it's like what do you
So-
do there? Like maybe
In a lot of corporate jobs, if you, for example, if it's a company, but like companies will, if they have you based in New York, they will typically increase your salary kind of proportional to the rent amount if they're nice. And then, but then if you go to, for example, if you work in like the middle of the country rather than New York City, they'll
Montana.
like you'll have a lower salary
So-
because the
yeah.
rent is lower there and the price to live is lower there.
I hate the rent price here.
Yeah, it is a little
and
bit
it's crazy because like we've lived here for a year and it's like we've already spent so much on rent and it's like the money wasn't even going towards a mortgage. It's not like we own this unit. It's like going to some random fucking landlord. So annoying.
Yeah, but the thing is in New York, if you did want to buy, because I did consider buying, and you guys know that because like I publicly posted on my Instagram like, oh, let's tour houses.
Yeah.
And then literally just like nothing came from it because when you buy a house in New York, you still have to pay HOA fees, aka homeowners association fees. And these homeowner association fees, like I am not even kidding, on the low side, like the cheapest HOA fee that I was seeing is like maybe $800 a month, cheapest. Some of
And-
them like
no.
$3,000 a month of HOA fee. Like
No,
that's
like-
crazy. Like you could pay off your mortgage, everything, and you are still shilling out that much money every month just towards
live there.
HOA. Like
yeah.
actually blows my mind and kind of makes like buying an apartment
Here.
like seem like a really bad financial choice? Question mark.
Because it's
So-
almost like an extra like rent type of thing. It's just like
Yeah.
the HOA. Oh my god.
Yeah. So unless like you could find an apartment with a good HOA where like it really makes sense for you to purchase it, you could do that. But it's much more difficult in New York, specifically in Manhattan too. It's just like not many options. And the crazy thing is when you are looking at apartments, basically the bedroom amount like equates to how many millions of dollars you have to spend. Like I'm not even joking. Like you want a 1 bedroom, $1 million at least. 2 bedroom, $2 million at least. 3 bedroom, $3 million at least. Like
Yeah.
it's so crazy to be purchasing something that expensive and have it be like 1,000 square foot. Like you know what I mean?
I
It's
know.
just so wild.
And there are like some really dingy apartments that you can get for less, but then it's like you probably got to like fully remodel it for it to be like
you would-
I don't know.
Yeah, and the dingy apartments are not way less. Let me tell you that.
Let me tell you that.
Let me
Because
tell
it's
you
still
that
a
they
New
are
York City
still $1
apartment.
million. So it's crazy.
It's so annoying.
Also, when it comes to both buying and renting, there is this thing called a broker's fee, which I did not know of until I moved to New York because it is, I'm pretty sure, just New York City specific. So
Yeah.
basically, when you're gonna go rent an apartment in New York, there will be a broker. Never, ever, ever, if you're renting your own apartment, get your own broker. Do not ever do that. Ever.
Don't
Okay.
get your own broker?
Do not get your own broker. If you want to
Okay.
get your own broker, get it for when you're purchasing like a house, but do not get it for renting an apartment because
They take a
basically,
fee.
yeah, they're going to take a fee. So the thing is, you will pretty much always still have a broker's fee. You might be able, if you're lucky, to find a non-broker's fee apartment. That's also very rare. But if there's an apartment listed, typically that apartment will have its own broker. Like the seller will have a broker and they're going to take a broker's fee, which is either the first month of rent or it's like 10 to 15% of your first year of rent.
Yeah.
That's a crazy hit because it's literally for no reason. Like you have your security deposit and you have a broker's fee that gets paid to that broker, which okay, no
Very
offense
pointless.
to the realtors out there, but like, what the fuck?
Literally,
like,
what the
literally,
fuck?
what does that go towards? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, because what does the broker just like shows you the apartment when you're like
Yeah.
about to rent it, and then just because you signed the lease, they get to get thousands of dollars from you because they like
Yeah.
showed you the unit.
Like 1 month of rent is crazy. Like maybe a couple percent, like couple percent,
A couple percents.
Like I don't know, but 1 month of rent when
Such
the
a
rent is so expensive is actually like blows my mind. And same thing goes for when you are buying a house. Oh my God, it's been a little while since I was in my house buying process, but I'm pretty sure that the broker's fee actually only the seller pays typically.
oh, really?
So actually it's not as big of a deal, but if you are like selling your own apartment, then, but I think that's also more typical just for the house buying process in general. I don't know if any of us are on the house buying vibes right now, so I'm going to stop talking about this topic because
but it is nuts. It is a really weird, specific like New York City process that happens where you get robbed of a lot extra money.
yeah, and if you did have your own broker when you're renting, then the two brokers will be like, okay, well now we got to split the broker's fee, so they'll do like a higher broker's fee so that they can like split it and both get like a decent amount of money or something weird. So I'm just like, don't do that. Don't have someone look for apartments for you because that's weird. Just find it yourself. Use Street Easy or use Zillow and just show up to the apartment things yourself. And it is crazy also how fast the apartments go because you will need to like you can't dwell on it. You have to kind
Yeah.
of choose your apartment like a couple weeks before you have to move. Like I'm not even joking. Unless like you find one that says available next month or something. Do you know what I mean?
You're talking about renting or buying?
For renting,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
But yeah, it just goes so fast that like you literally can't even start looking for an apartment until a month minimum before you have to move.
Yeah.
Because that's how fast like the turnover is. So
Which is so
it's just
annoying.
wild.
I'm like the type of person that really likes to plan.
Yeah.
And you just can't even do that here.
can't.
It's so so anxiety inducing. Yeah. So bad.
yeah,
well-
it's a little cray, but yeah.
Overall, I will say my experience of living in New York has been very beautiful. I'm so thankful to have so many experiences and to be lucky enough to live here.
Same.
I will say it is a very high cortisol lifestyle. I am living
Yes.
in quite a big amount of fear. Every time I leave the house, no matter what form of transportation I'm taking, there is some pretty severe amount of worry that I have
Yeah.
that something horrible will happen. And I think to live here happily, you kind of just have to
Accept that.
accept that, and also just like ignorance is bliss it out. Like,
Yeah.
just pretend it's not a real threat to you, because no matter how much or how little you worry, anything can happen to anyone. Like, no matter
Yeah.
how prepared you are, shit can go crazy at any time, at any place.
Yeah, so it's like, why waste your time
worrying about it.
worrying? Yeah.
So that's the hard thing, because I am very anxious. And then I'm like, I'm trying to tell myself, like, just stop thinking about it because it's not really going to affect anything. But I don't know. Yeah, so for the anxiety girls out there, that is something to consider.
Yeah.
Living with roommates always helps. Going out in groups
Yes.
always helps.
That's how like we were initially able to afford, like, because we had some nice apartments, like, or at least I
talking about
had some
money?
nice apartments. Yeah, like money wise, like having roommates makes. Obviously, this is kind of like I'm being dumb right now by saying this, but like it makes the apartments way more affordable. So by like splitting it by a bunch of people, you can get a much nicer apartment for much less of a price. So highly recommend having roommates. I have a lot of like creator friends that even just find their roommates on Facebook Marketplace. On Facebook, no, just on Facebook, and I feel like it always works out.
That's
And
lucky for
yeah,
them.
I know it is lucky for
Period.
them. So
Yeah, I think if you're considering moving here, I would highly recommend trying to get a roommate of some form, because living here by yourself, I think, can be a little scary, and you might just get like so scared that you end up isolating yourself in your apartment, or like you don't really want to explore because you're a bit more afraid. And also, it's just nice to like socialize and have people to do things with. So try and find people. And if you don't want to have a roommate, or you can't find a roommate, sign up for like some pottery classes, or like go to a little cafe
Yes.
and become a regular
Oh,
there.
that is my favorite thing about New York City is literally the amount of classes you can take. I'm
Yeah.
going to shout out my ClassPass right now. Have any of you guys heard ClassPass? My link is down below if you want to start a free get 2 weeks for free. Anyways,
What is ClassPass? Can you
ClassPass,
explain?
basically, I use it like literally all the time, but it gives you a discount when you do workout classes. And they also have food on there now too. So I will like literally use it to like buy food, and just like everything is discounted. And I specifically like need it for Pilates because Pilates is so expensive. Oh my God. Pilates is like $40 a class. I'm not even joking. I'm like, what the F? But if you do it on ClassPass, it'll be like 25 or something, or like 28. Like that's still a lot.
I think you also
But-
told me, because a lot of like the gyms and those type of workout classes, each place requires a membership
Yes.
usually. But if you have ClassPass, you don't have to pay a full membership to all these different gyms.
Exactly.
You can
So
just do
it's like-
classes at them.
It's so good for like ClassPass is dead. Like what made me explore New York City, because I was like, okay, I'm gonna force myself to do a new workout class. Maybe it's in a new area, or it's just like something new, and like really gets you out of your comfort zone. And it's like discounted. You don't have to sign up for a membership, and like you can just go wherever. So I use that to go to literally all of my workout classes. And
Does ClassPass exist in
fire.
other cities too?
it does. I think it like they also have it in LA. So like when we went to LA recently, I was like, oh, okay, they have Rumble boxing class or etc. or Barry's, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna use my ClassPass like no matter where I am. I think I one
Okay.
time used my ClassPass to go to Barry's also in Stockholm, like in
What?
Sweden.
Sweden?
So like it
Whoa.
can work in like different places. They have some
That's so cool.
in different areas, but
Dang. Well,
yeah,
Ashley
I
will have
always
like
use
her,
it.
what is it called? Like
My affiliate link.
so
I'll
that
have
you
an
guys,
affiliate link down below.
whoever signs up for it also gets like a discount, right?
Yeah, but I like
Not sponsored,
I
but-
highly recommend that if you are in New York City, or if you come to New York City and you visit, like imagine you visit for like a couple weeks, they have a free trial. So you sign up, you put in your email for 2 weeks.
But we got to get them to
And then
sponsor
you
us.
just,
We're
like,
like doing
bro,
a
I
whole
know.
ad right now for them.
I am. No, I swear I reached out to
well.
them before, and then I don't know, like nothing came out of it or something. But so I'm just like, okay,
on,
you can just
guys.
use my affiliate link, bro, whatever.
That's so
but
funny.
It's pretty lit.
That is a good life hack for the girls that actually, the people that actually want to
No,
like
like
go
I
out
actually
and do
like
stuff.
love it, and like it is actually goated for the workout classes, and that's also what I love about New York in general. Is just all the classes.
Yeah.
I love being able to go to different workout classes every day. Like there's so many to pick from that I can literally do like different stuff all the time, and it's so fun.
Yeah. That is so
Yes.
epic. Do you have any final words of
Yes.
wisdom?
I do. Well, just to kind of briefly give an overview of my pros and cons, I think hustle culture is kind of something we didn't really touch on, but I think that's a huge aspect of living in New York that does get me a little freaked out sometimes, or there's just so much going on that also I feel very much so little fish in big pond sometimes.
Yeah.
Whereas when we lived upstate, I felt more big fish in little pond. And that actually like just helped my confidence generally and made me feel happier in my life.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I'm here and there's like so many events going on, it's just easy to be like, oh my God, this is so like influencer, but I'm like, oh my God, like I didn't get invited to this event, or like, it's just like compare, or like I think feel left out. Like there's so much stuff going on. You can feel left out of it. You can see people being so successful. You can see people working so hard, and you're just like, oh my God. It's like can be very overwhelming. Yeah. So that's one thing you kind of have to deal with, but it depends how you look at it, because you can also be like, this is so inspiring, and like look at everyone working, and I'm also gonna grind and do my thing. Yeah. And just because you live in New York also doesn't mean that you need to grind. So that's
true.
also
you can just chill, because I feel like a lot of people will move here to work like corporate jobs, and those can be really scary sometimes, where you're like, oh my God, like some of my coworkers are like going ham and like really like climbing up the ranks, and I'm like a little baby, or like I'm not fit for this type of life. So sometimes when you like work in finance, or like you work for some big company, I know people that live here, that type of like work culture can like really bring down their self-esteem and like their quality of life. So that's something else kind of
consider as well.
But it's also very fun. You get to eat bagels and pizza.
Yeah, bagels and pizza. Like, forget about everything else. You get to eat bagels and pizza.
Yes,
so
the perks are there.
That's that. But yeah, New York is a very cool and fun place, and I am so thankful that I made the decision to move here, because I think if I didn't, I would probably still be living upstate, and I think I would just be like more close-minded, if that makes sense. I feel like from moving here, I have just had so many more life experiences and made so many more like new friends, and it's been really cool to live here. And also I think specifically we made more Asian friends, which is really funny, because I feel like upstate I didn't really have that many Asian friends, but it's really nice to have more Asian friends to bond over our Asian culture with, period.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Epic. Okay, maybe we'll move on to our favorites, but let's try and make them New York related.
Okay,
I will say my New York City favorite of the week. Actually, I haven't gotten it this week, so this is kind of cap, but my New York City favorite of all time got to be the bagels. Specifically, I love Tompkins Square bagels.
Wow, okay.
My other two favorite places, though, are Apollo Bagels and Brooklyn Bagel. Try those out if you visit. And also, no offense, I gotta shout out my favorite pizza, Lindustry Pizza.
Oh, and which pizza specifically?
You gotta get the fig jam and bacon slice. It's crazy. It's so good. It's like smoky, savory, and sweet. Oh, delicious. Or just get their like burrata slice. They add burrata on top of their pizza, and it's just the best.
But you have to get the fig jam one. You can't you have to either get only the fig jam one or the fig jam and the burrata.
Get two slices. Get the fig jam and bacon plus like a regular cheese slice or whatever to balance it out. You will go crazy. Trust me. Oh my God, so amazing.
Yes.
And then my favorite about myself, but related to New York, is that I think I've had to become a lot more brave since moving here, and like mentally overcome lots of things that I've never experienced before, such as, like I said, the fear and the horror every day of walking outside and not knowing what will happen out there.
Yes, girl.
But, I think I'm not sure if I am better or worse because of that. Sometimes I think maybe I am mentally worse now. But, it is all learning experience, and I am proud of myself for even living here, period.
Nice.
What about you, bro?
Well, I think I just has two good favorites, and they both slipped out of my mind right at this exact moment.
Girl.
Okay, well, here's one that's not New York City related, and I'm sorry.
What?
I'm just gonna say it while thinking of my New York ones that I forgot. Okay, guys, you see my nails?
Yes.
I chronically bite my nails. Chronically have bitten my nails since I was probably 8 years old, and right now they are long. And this is like the longest. Sometimes I do let them grow long, but then normally after a month I like have another episode and I bite them all off, because if I get like anxious, I will literally chew off all my nails. But right now they're long, and they've been long for like 2 or 3 months, and that's crazy.
Bro, congrats.
Thank you so much. So I'm trying to get over my nail biting habit.
Yes.
Anyways, referring to New York, I think generally. Oh! I remember now. Okay, thanks, Amber. I think that moving to New York has literally, in a way, gifted me my independence as a person. Because I think even after I graduated college, I still was not that independent. I feel like that's something I've kind of struggled with always growing up. Like, even during college, I literally like moved back home because I was like, I need to be closer to my family. Like it's just something like I've always kind of struggled with a little bit. And I think finally just being out here on my own and actually living far away from my family for a long period of time, I guess, has made me become more independent. So
Yeah.
I think I'm very grateful that New York has given me that. And also, I just love all my friends here, and I'm very grateful for them. And I love like our little New York family. So yeah,
I also think you're a lot more confident since moving here because I think
Thanks, girl.
you're living your life like for yourself now, and you have your own like things that you like to do. You like wake up every morning with like
On
a
my
purpose.
routine.
Like not that you weren't before, but like you really have your shit together right now.
thanks, Amber.
And I think New York helps you like enhance that because you are really meshing well with the city.
Thank you. That is
Yeah.
so kind.
Yes. And then do you have a favorite thing? Oh wait, that was your favorite thing.
That was
about
my favorite
yourself.
thing. And my nails, of course.
Okay. You don't have a favorite thing in New York City?
Oh, thing in New York
Yeah,
City?
yeah.
Probably just all the matcha shops that are available to me that were not available upstate, including boba shops, including pretty much everything. Like literally I go home and I'm like, oh my God, they don't even have like bingsu here or like they don't even have hot pot or like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So I just feel like I just love Asian food and it's kind of lacking where we live upstate and the access to that here goes crazy. So I love just all the food options in general.
Do you have a favorite matcha shop period in New York?
I'll say future NAMI shop would be my favorite, but since that does not exist yet, right now I really love Kijitora. I really love Kettle. Postcard Cafe is very adorbs. La Cabra, love their cardamom bun as well is gas.
As well as gas.
As well, that is gas.
This is so real. Guys, New York is amazing. New York got everything going on. If you guys are from New York or have ever lived here at some point or want to move
have
here,
to say
drop
something.
your opinions. What do you
Yes.
got to say?
I have to say something very important that I just remembered. By the time that this podcast comes out, I actually am kind of having a NAMI cafe.
What do you mean, bro?
I'm literally having
yes,
a
you
pop
are.
up. Yeah.
NAMI pop-up in New York City.
Yes, NAMI pop up. So not really like a NAMI cafe. Obviously, like I'm having a pop up at the Shopify store on October 5th. If you go on my Instagram, I have like the RSVP and details, and I will have it probably all over the NAMI Instagram as well. But I'm literally doing like a meet and greet, and it's a whole shop. Like there's the Shopify store on Green Street in Soho, which by the way is the most scenic, most beautiful, classic Soho street. Like if you want to get Pinterest photos, you go on Green Street in Soho. And the Shopify store is on that street, and it is like the most gorgeous store ever. And I'm having a pop-up there, and we're going to have NAMI. We are going to have... Well, am I really going to just like say all this right now at the end of the podcast?
Yeah.
We're going to be selling our hojicha. I'm launching hojicha, and that is going to be for sale for the first time ever physically in that store. Like won't even be available online at that point. It'll just be available at the Shopify store.
Wow.
I know. So come on out, come meet us. Amber will be there. I think Andrew will possibly be DJing a set there as well. That's crazy.
Oh my God.
And they also have a cafe in the Shopify shop, and they will be serving NAMI matcha. So fingers crossed that everything gets made perfectly and gorgeous. So
Hell
yes.
Yay. Any New York listeners, definitely pull up.
Yeah, pull up and come say hi, and we'll be there. I think the pop-up is from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and then the meet and greet is going to be for like a specific few hours. I will have that all like, I'll literally put the RSVP in the description of the video as well. Me when I'm like link in description like 10 times in this video, but I'll have the link in description in this video to RSVP for the pop-up, which also if you can RSVP if you're going to go, that would be so helpful to me just so I can like know how many people are going or not. And yeah.
This is
It's
so
gonna be
epic.
amazing.
Congratulations, Ashley and NAMI team. I cannot wait for this physical
you.
pop-up. This is going to be
I
so
know.
epic.
I'm like low-key so nervous because I'm like, this is such like a big like step in NAMI's history. And also because I think we are serving NAMI. That makes me like a little nervous because I'm like, oh my God.
Everybody's
but
literally going to be drinking NAMI in
I
front of you,
know.
bro.
So it's going to be crazy. But yeah.
Let's go.
And I think we're also gonna have potentially some like merchandise, like a very limited
Merchandise?
amount, like hoodie / tote bag.
Are you serious right now, bro?
I'm
This is the
serious.
first time hearing of any of this.
Bro, you should see the mock-up of the outside of the store because like we're putting
Shut
vinyls on the
up.
windows and stuff, and like literally has my face on it and like the NAMI logo, and like it looks crazy.
What the hell? Are
I
you
know.
serious?
Yeah.
Okay. What?
It's so crazy.
Bro, this is awesome.
I know.
Congratulations.
So NAMI like almost forgetting to mention that at the end, but yeah.
well, period.
yes.
This has been so epic. Thank you guys so much for listening. I think that's it. And we'll catch you guys next week.
We will catch you next week. Beautiful twin sisters out.
All my
Beautiful twin sisters.
sisters.